I joined the military in 2010 in the Army. I wanted to be a bigger part of the community and serve the country. So I was injured in Afghanistan June 25th, 2011, and my platoon and I were ambushed. It was a close ambush, and it took the life of my lieutenant, um, Dimitri Del Castillo, and I took a 7.62 round to the face in the process of the gunfight. I was thinking I didn't want to die on that mountain, for one. I thought that this was a time for me to go. I was surrounded by my brothers I made in the military, and it was kind of a moment where I thought if I'm gonna go, I'm at peace with it.
Hello, my name is Pierre Larkin. I'm an Army retiree of 32 years of military service. I'm also a combat veteran, disabled veteran as well. I did 4 combat tours, and it landed me where I'm sitting at today.
I wish that such an organization had existed when I came back from Vietnam. And I sort of had to recover from my wounds on my own. I couldn't remember my name sometimes.
When I first came back from combat, I didn't like anybody. I didn't like anybody. I didn't like my kids. I didn't like my spouse at the time. I didn't like myself. And it wasn't just from the injury of being deployed. I had went through a moment where I lost a child and then still got deployed. And I thought nobody cared. And I carried that anger and that hate for a long time, and it manifested itself over and over every time I had to deal with a situation or deal with somebody that reminded me of it. So when I came back, my PTSD was extreme because I was very angry and I didn't have an outlier for that. I didn't have a way to kind of bring that in and deal with it.
The first year that I was injured, we didn't go anywhere. We were just at the hospital the entire year, you know. And for a lot of guys, you could see that on a lot of guys. They get, you know, they tend to hang around the hospital too much, and they get trapped.
I think the hardest part of my recovery, I would probably have to say, definitely the emotional, mental aptitude of my own being, of looking at myself in the mirror and at the injuries. And you know, I'm lucky. I have both my arms, both my legs, and I can move, I can walk, I can run. But before that, it was learning how to crawl again. I lost so much weight, I had a trach, I had half my jaw blown off, and I looked at myself and I was like, I don't know how any other woman's going to love me, you know. And I just, the depression and the trauma of war, PTSD, the TBI, all these things are just like a knot in your head.
A lot of injuries are physical and people can see them, but I think one of the biggest injuries that are not seen are the internal injuries that are both moral and psychological. There are a lot of people that come back and they suffer from moral injuries, they suffer from psychological injuries, they have PTSD, they have anxiety, they have depression. They may have readjustment. They have all kind of disorders that people come back from, and it just depends on the person, depends on what they suffer from. I started coming to Willing Warriors in 2015, 2016, and a total believer of the program.
This is definitely like a place just like, look at the bright things, right? Like glass half full instead of always negativity. And then when you come out, that kind of spirit will definitely follow you home at the very least, and then maybe rub off on some people.
Yeah, and the way you guys cherish the military.
Yeah.
I mean, just the simple
Fresh.
cards around here that you guys had. Josiah, our son, just went around collecting all the cards, thought it was the best thing ever. I was just like, wow, like,
we want.
Yes, we have seen a lot of people show that honor and respect, of course, but I was just like, they sure outdo themselves here.
The amazing thing about coming to a place like here, this retreat, is that it gives you a time to rest, not just for the service member, but also for the family. And I think one of the hardest things when you come back from a combat deployment is that readjustment period for that warrior and that family. I think that's a big thing that's missed in a lot of programs. You focus on the warrior, but the warrior is not as strong as he could be if he didn't have his family there to support him. So one of the things that this retreat does is when people come here, it's not just the warrior that gets the rest. The spouse gets the rest. The children get to run wild. They don't have to worry about if they're into something because you want to get into something. The spouse doesn't have to worry about, do I gotta get up and cook a meal, because you have chefs here cooking meals. They don't have to worry about, well, honey, the room's not taken care of, because there's somebody here taking care of the room. It's actually a place that you can come mentally, physically to rest.
This is exciting. This has so much potential, and it'll help.
This went above and beyond. It's almost indescribable how you can come and stay here with your loved ones, your family, and you do events, a little great, but even just physically being here,
Yeah.
is like a healing in itself.